side. Stop struggling against my demons. Stop taking life as fiction. Let it burn, burn, burn. Burn the pain, burn the lies, burn the fear inside myself, and burn it all again. It's the right time to escape this cage I've been locked in for so long. It's not where I belong. Let it burn, burn, burn into the ground.
Well, hello again, everyone. We are the Highest Tier Pod, your weekly unfiltered wrestling and entertainment. Welcome to the World Elite Podcast. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and we are on YouTube as well. Now, of course, I'm Marcus. Also, we got one of my co-hosts, who's not just my co-host on this show for nearly the last 5 years, but he's also my co-host on our other new show, the Game Breaker Sports Podcast. You can check out every Tuesday night on the Game Breaker Sports Network. It's Dylan. What's going on?
Hey, not too much, man. Just getting some cold weather over here. It's also raining, so that's like a double negative for me right now. But it's a lot warmer in here, so it feels pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I thought you liked the cold weather.
I do to an extent, but not to where I'm uncomfortable. And every time I go outside right now, I'm so uncomfortable because the rain is slamming me when I walk outside, because the way the wind's hitting, it shoots all the rain at me, and it's so fucking uncomfortable.
I can handle the cold. I just can't handle rain with it or the fucking wind. Like, the wind makes it even worse.
Yeah, not for me as well.
And unfortunately, our other co-host, Jordan, he is not available tonight. He is under the weather due to the severe cold weather and cold front we've had all week long, and we're just going to get more of it next week. I was hoping he'd be here today because we got a topic in honor of him, but we'll bring it back up to him when he comes back next week. But we do have a guest. New year, new guest. He's actually making his World Elite debut tonight. You can check him out on his podcast, hailing all the way from the state of Ohio. You can check him out on the Savage Wrestling Podcast, SWP. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. James. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you again for coming on. Now, before we get to any topics you see on the right of your screen, just give us a little quick backstory. How did you become a wrestling fan? Who inspired you? And stuff like that.
Well, I was a huge wrestling fan back in the Attitude Era. My all-time favorite wrestler was, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I couldn't remember how I saw Stone Cold. I just remember him stunnering Mr. McMahon for the first time. Then I became a fan of wrestling since then.
Awesome.
That's how I became a wrestling fan. I just saw a guy just stunner a boss.
Yeah. Now, being from the state state of Ohio, y'all have had quite a bit of WWE events or even other wrestling shows that came to y'all state, and y'all have had many great shows like SummerSlam recently in Cleveland. Have you anything you've attended in the past or recently that was like big?
I know my co-host Aaron went to SummerSlam, and we did talk about it on one of the episodes, but I did attend AEW's first ever house show town over.
Okay. Nice.
But I haven't been like an actual big event in a while.
Any Raws, SmackDowns recently in Ohio?
Yes, I went to a SmackDown at Dayton, Ohio. When Jey Uso went on his own. I just remember, it's been a while.
It's been a while for me too. I'm actually going to my first SmackDown next month in I think 2010. I'll make it 11 years, 2014. First SmackDown since 2014, but I haven't been to a Monday Night Raw since 2017.
Jeez.
Everything in between today and from then was pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been to 3 Dynamites in between that, and a couple of WWE house shows too. So, but And I saw AEW is going to be in Cincinnati next week. It's one of them special dynamites. I forgot what it was called. I know Mox is fighting.
Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage. Moxley in his hometown's fighting Hobbs for the AEW World Title, and then they got some other good matches on that card. Are you going to be attending that, or?
No, unfortunately, I'll be at work.
Okay.
You know, I got to pay the bills somehow.
Oh, yeah, we all do. Well, we got a good show for you tonight. You see on the right of your screen, we got some good topics, and we're going to start from the top. So if you watched Raw this past Monday night, it premiered on Netflix. We're now in, we've had the golden era, the attitude era, the ruthless aggression era, the PG era. Now we're in a new era. It's called the Netflix era. I like this. And Jordan, tuning in. Get well, Jordan. I can't wait to hear your comments when we talk about another topic later on. But what a show, by the way. And if you see on the screen, it drew 4.9 million views, which a lot of people these days have Netflix more than cable or satellite television these days. A lot of people stream watching live TV, whether like a Hulu or something, or Tubi, or there's a couple more I just can't name off the top of my head. I just remember like Hulu and Tubi for prime example. But it was a great show. The Into a Dome, like I think WWE needs to just retire going to crypto. Let AEW have that since they're doing Revolution there. The Into a Dome is a state-of-the-art class arena that just recently got built for the Clippers. Those lights you've been seeing around the crowd, those were built in the seats. That's something new technology they dropped today. I remember watching a Clippers game when they were playing the Houston Rockets, and the LED lights in the seats were just blinking before tip-off. Like, that wasn't a WWE thing. That was an arena thing, and that's just some new state-of-the-art thing they got in today's society. I said, imagine having them kind of seats in an NFL stadium. Like, that would be fun shit. They didn't wear no, like, special wristband that get the blinking lights in the crowd. No, those were built in the seats. But other than that, you know, the show is great. Kicked off with The Rock, getting us ready to be on Netflix. Well, actually kicked off with Triple H with this long hype video with a tarp around the ring. Then we had The Rock come talk. Then it kicked off with Tribal Combat. Roman Reigns beat Solo Sikoa. Shockingly, I think we all got swerved in that. Dylan and I swore Paul Heyman was going to turn, and it never happened. And it was just like any other Tribal Combat match we've seen. Multiple people getting involved. I guess that's a thing now. Miami did great. Tune in. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Rock put the Ula Fala on Roman after he won as like the High Chief, crowning his tribal chief. What else happened? Oh, we got John Cena. We're going to talk about John Cena later. I'll skip that real quick. Rhea Ripley wins the Women's World Championship from Liv Morgan. Dominic being a gold digger, trying to get back to her. Didn't happen. Got a cool moment with The Undertaker and Rhea. I think I was the only one in the group that picked Jey Uso over Drew McIntyre. That was kind of a shocker. Plus coming out with Travis Scott smoking one. And then closed out with a bang. There's something else that happened that night. I think we might, I don't know if we're going to save it in another topic or we're going to bring it up after I finish my recap. But Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Punk got the victory. What a hell of a match. I feel like this isn't the end between them two. But other than that, that was a hell of a Raw. Hell of a way to kick off a new era, going on to Netflix and kicking off the new year. So, Dylan, what's your take on Raw on Netflix plus drawing 4.9 million views?
Man, it was fantastic. You know, it was everything I expected it to be. You know, if you watched, if people tuning in right now, if they tuned in to the show on Tuesday where we talked about Raw on Netflix, I kind of gave a little bit of insight of what we're talking about tonight. But I did say I didn't want to give everything off. I wanted to, you know, say some more stuff tonight that I didn't say then. But all around, it was a great show. You know, it really had that PLE type feel as far as hype level goes because they hyped it up so much. They had a great card for it. There was a lot of people expecting more stuff, and that's what really angers me about wrestling fans to this day is that they expect the world and that they don't get it, and they complain. And whenever it was a really good show, they were saying, oh, we were supposed to get Penta. We didn't get Penta. Well, we're getting him next week. We were supposed to get the finals of the Intercontinental title for the women's. We didn't get it. We're getting it next week. But that's the thing, you know, you can't pull everything into one show. You got to keep it going. You got to do more for the next week, because if you're going to do everything at the Intuit Dome, then what are the people the next week going to get? They're going to get a bland show because everything was given the first week of Raw. So you got to give the crowd something to look forward to next week. So I credit WWE for not going all out for this show. But still, it was fantastic. You mentioned kicking off with Triple H, then The Rock, then Tribal Combat, which, I mean, we were way off. I thought Paul Heyman was going to turn, but then I started thinking to myself, what does a turn from Paul do right now? Because it puts him with Solo Sikoa, but then where do you go from there? Do you keep this rivalry going with Roman and Solo? And it's going to keep going and going and going until it gets real stale. It's not stale right now, but if you would have turned Paul, then it would have got stale after a while. So I think they made the right move with Roman winning and winning back to Ula Fala and having Roman crown him. But the Rock, he kind of threw me off right there, because a lot of people are saying that he's ditching the final boss gimmick where he's making up with Cody, but something tells me that some sort of swerve is going to be coming at some point, because if WWE, they love their long-term storytelling. And I think that that's what they're doing right now, because if you watched the Instagram video with Cody and The Rock, they were hanging out backstage, they were drinking together, but you noticed that Cody Rhodes was not taking his eye off of The Rock, because he knows what The Rock is capable of, and to turn his back on him once again. So I am looking forward to seeing if something comes from this, because I think something will come from it, and we'll eventually get something between the two at some point, maybe even WrestleMania. We'll talk about John Cena a little bit. We have his own little special topic. It was nice seeing this little interaction between The Undertaker and Rhea Ripley. It was a great match between her and Liv. I know we're going to be talking about a certain somebody later on in the show. That's why I'm not going to speak about that now, and I didn't speak about it on Tuesday. Closing out with Seth Rollins and CM Punk was fantastic. I thought it was a perfect way to close the show. That's why I was hoping they would open up with Tribal Combat and end with this match after a great promo they gave us the week before. Then it had to close the show out, and it did. And of course, you have your people that are not happy, saying that it was a stale finish, that CM Punk, he no-sold a move to give them 2 GTSs, and they complain. They can't ever be satisfied with anything. But 4.9 million, the numbers speak for themselves. So I honestly don't think that WWE even cares about what's saying on the internet right now. 4.9 speaks for itself, and that's just for anyone right now to try and top it, because no one is. Because 4.9 is a fantastic number that the other companies just can't touch right now. But all around, it was a great show. I was very impressed. Looking forward to next week. Whenever they make you look forward to next week, then you did something good the following week. So credit to them. They did a fantastic job, and looking forward to seeing what this era of Netflix has in store for us.
All right, James, what's your take on Raw being on Netflix Monday night?
I thought it was a phenomenal show. I like everything they did. And I agree what Dylan said. He took everything off my mouth there. 4.9, man, that's a great number. Good debut number for a Netflix debut. I congratulated them on a tweet earlier. But all these other people, they're just going to hate. People complain, everything. But my favorite thing about it was the Rollins and Punk match. I thought that was great. Roman and Solo was good. And I thought Heyman was going to turn as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then, the same thing with the Rock thing. That kind of threw me off. It's like, why is he introducing the Ula Fale to Roman? And I didn't get it. And I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for a swerve here soon.
I think we all were. But no, shockingly, it didn't happen.
Yeah, and also I think, to kind of backtrack a little bit, I think I may have stumbled and said that Roman crowned himself with the Ula Fala. So if I did, that's my fuck up right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say The Rock.
Yeah, that was
Untenable.
yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I said that, and yeah, so I gotta correct myself right there.
Oh yeah.
Overall, it was a great show, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
and then there were some people that were bitching, like saying, "Really, you drag 4 matches for 3.5 hours? This is why AEW is better than WWE, and it's gonna put WWE out the misery."
Shut up, you big fucking asshole.
Oh, and to the ones that, oh yeah, now and the ones bitching about not getting Penta, having to wait till next week, or not crowning the first women's Intercontinental Champion and having to wait next week.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you. Right, let me
Say we gotta have a good reason. We gotta have a good show next week. I mean, we got those two happening. Finn and Damien's fight next week. So I mean, Raw's gonna be back to another week on Netflix. Gonna be a hell of a Raw.
Mhm.
And they did go back to 3 hours, which supposedly SmackDown is going back to 2 hours, but it's not going to be until the summertime.
Mhm.
So when I go next month, it's still going to be 3 hours. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they're going back to 2. I thought maybe 3 was going to help them up, but I don't know. I guess because they don't have that big of a roster like Raw. I mean, why all of a sudden they want to go back to 2 hours?
No idea.
You know, James, or no?
No, that I do not know.
Okay. Well, let's talk about one of the biggest positive things that happened that night. That's also going to happen this year. We're getting John Cena's retirement tour. I forgot what the name of the tour is called.
The farewell tour.
The farewell tour, like on his shirt, like the last time is now or something. Like he's got all new merch out. I like that color, the blue. Well, John Cena got a big ovation. He comes out. Now, I'm pretty sure that means he's going to be on TV every single week, probably on Raw and SmackDown. So his schedule's going to be full. I think he's supposed to be on SmackDown tomorrow night. I'm gonna find out. I know he'll be on Raw next week in San Jose, but we also know he's going to be at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis for his final Rumble, and he will compete in the 30-man Royal Rumble match one last time, because he was talking about what ifs, like who could John Cena fight first in the farewell tour? Who could be his very last match in December? And he's saying, can I break the record? Can I have a chance to break the record, become a 17-time champion? But he was teasing like, I don't see it happening unless I had like a first class ticket. Like, for example, what if I can make history and tie Stone Cold's record and win 3 Royal Rumbles? Then he'd have a ticket to main event WrestleMania one more time and challenge for a world title and potentially break that record. So I think John Cena was the first to declare his entry in the Royal Rumble.
So.
And everyone's already calling their shots saying, okay, John Cena is winning it. This is his final. It's going to happen. A lot of people think he might be the runner-up, but still can go to WrestleMania and get a title shot. What's up, Tim King? Check him out on the Game Breaker Sports podcast as well with us in Streets. They think he could still get a title shot winning Elimination Chamber in March, because there's rumors of him being in an Elimination Chamber match one last time. I don't know why. So that's kind of a bit skeptic. I don't know if that's 100% sure if he's going to compete in an Elimination Chamber match one more time, but he will be in a match at Elimination Chamber, because God forbid he loves Toronto, and Toronto has been advertising him to come one last time. So what's your take with Cena entering the Rumble? Do you see him winning it? Yes or no? Tell me why. And what, just a straight shot, what entry number you think he's going to be?
So I think he comes in at number 1. You know, he already announced it that he's going to be in the Rumble. I think you let him go right in and compete. I mean, but I think they're making it too obvious that he's going to win, that he's not going to. They're making it far too obvious that it's going to happen, because I believe the last 2 years they made it so obvious that it was going to be Cody that was winning the Rumble, even though a lot of people were on CM Punk to win it last year. But Cody was a shoo-in the year before, you know, back-to-back winner. And now they're making it so obvious that it's going to be John Cena. Maybe they do pull the trigger. Maybe they do go with John Cena to win it. But I'm still going to call my shot from either 2-3 weeks ago and say that it's going to be at the Elimination Chamber that he wins it and gets his title shot there. I don't want to see him win the Rumble because for the last 2 years it's been too predictable. I like a Royal Rumble where we don't know who's going to win and we're all surprised by it. So if John Cena wins it, I feel like it does nothing for us because there's no excitement behind it other than a feel-good story of John Cena winning the Royal Rumble and going to WrestleMania to face either Gunther or Cody Rhodes. And we know it's more than likely going to be Gunther, and I absolutely hate that because I want Gunther to have a long reign with the world title like he had with his Intercontinental title. And if you have him drop the belt to John Cena, it's a feel-good story for one night, but what do you do after that? There's nothing for him to do. So for me, Gunther doesn't need to lose the title to Cena, but I know that you're not going to have him lose it for Cody Rhodes to lose it. So you're kind of stuck. So it's going to almost have to be Gunther that loses his title now to John Cena if he wins the Rumble or if he wins Elimination Chamber. I still think it's going to be an Elimination Chamber. I think he's going to come so close at the end, but somebody else is going to win it. And I'm really hoping it's someone that we least expect because I want a surprise. I want to be someone who we least expected to win it. Because if you look back at the Royal Rumble during the COVID years, when Edge won, no one expected Edge to win, but he did. So now I want to be surprised. You know, the last 2 years was, like I said, far too predictable. I don't want that again. So if you're going to have John Cena win something to go to WrestleMania to face Gunther or whoever at WrestleMania, then let it be in the chamber. But I feel like even if that happens, it's going to be far too predictable because he has to have some sort of chance to make it to WrestleMania. He's not going to be handed the opportunity to fight for a title. And that's if he wins the Rumble or if he wins the Elimination Chamber. One of those two are going to be predictable. If he doesn't win the Rumble, he's obviously winning the Chamber to go on to WrestleMania. So some way, somehow he's going to get there. But I'm just not a huge fan of him getting another title reign. But I know they're going to have him break it just for that feel-good story for one night.
All right. What you got, James?
I kind of see him coming like in the 20s in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see him winning it. Like Dylan said, I want a surprise as well. But I do kind of see him winning the Elimination Chamber. And I don't want Gunther to lose his belt as well. But like if you're gonna make him drop the belt to Cena, then what? Like it's kind of like understanding he's trying to break the record and all that stuff. But it's going to get to the point. Records meant to be broken.
Well, hear me out when I say this. Okay, first off, I think Cena enters the Rumble number 1 also. That way we can have what we want. I think number 2 will be Joe Hendry, and we get that moment. Have it with Cena. Have it with Cena in the ring. Maybe Cena might participate. Wave his hands too. You never know. Because everybody's claiming Joe Hendry in the Royal Rumble, and he'd be 1 or 2. I'd put him 2 if you're going to put Cena number 1. Let him be in the ring when it happens. No, I'm kind of on that verge of Cena winning the Rumble myself. But if he competes Elimination Chamber, then what's the point of being in a chamber match if he's a number 1 contendership ain't on the line or a title ain't on the line? Hear me out. This might kind of sound stupid and ironic, but just think. I don't think we've ever seen nothing like this before. What if Cena wins the Rumble, chooses who he wants to face, and he says, "Oh, if you want to take this from me, why don't you take me on in the Elimination Chamber and take it from me?" And he beats 5 guys and keeps his title shot. That could be something unique. Like, that could be something Brock Lesnar would have done a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Now, when I say this, he's going to break the record. But it depends when he breaks it and who it's going to be against. If he fights Gunther at WrestleMania, he's not beating Gunther. I'm sorry. His final WrestleMania will be a loss. And then he'll win it. If he faces Gunther at Mania and loses, I think he wins the title in his very last match, whoever one of the champions could be. And then he retire as a champion, and then they vacate it the next week. Now, if he fights Cody, he beats Cody at WrestleMania. But I don't think we're getting a Cody Cena match. I would love that. I think I think we're going to get a Cena Gunther match just to keep us away from having a Gunther Goldberg match. Which people think we might see it at the Rumble. I don't fucking want that. People think we might get it at the Royal Rumble, but Goldberg never showed up. Some people think it might be at Elimination Chamber. Goldberg still ain't showed up yet. I don't show up at all. We don't fucking want Bill Goldberg.
No.
At all. So I rest my case with that. Let's talk some more exciting stuff. So this past Friday on SmackDown, it finally happened. I don't know how long, we've been waiting for months and months for this to happen. When is she going to do it? How's she going to do it? Well, I will give credit. Shout out to Nia Jax and Naomi for a banger match on SmackDown. That was an exciting women's match to kick off the new year. And then, of course, she had fucking Bianca Belair had to stick her nose in and try and take fame away. Well, Tiffany Stratton gets involved. Then all of a sudden, off the corner of my eye, I missed her hitting Nia with the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Bianca hit the what is it, KOD?
Yeah.
Hit the KOD on Nia. And then I'm thinking, cash in, Tiffy, cash in. And sure enough, she did hit the moonsault, win the title. And I was thinking about Jordan the whole fucking time. I said, bet Jordan jizzed himself. Tiffany is the women's champion. And now we're waiting to see what kind of buildup she's going to have with Nia. Are they going to have a rematch at the Rumble? Or they're going to wait till Chamber? This is exciting, but I know people are calling it now. Everyone thinks that Charlotte's going to come back at the Royal Rumble. If she don't win it, she'll eventually find a way to get a title shot. And we get that dream match with Tiffany and Charlotte at WrestleMania. I don't see it one-on-one. If it's one-on-one, I think Charlotte puts Tiffany over. Tiffany gets a big win over a big name like Charlotte Flair. But then, no, I take that back. That's I was saying a triple threat. No, that's for the other match, which I'm going to throw that in with this topic. Since Rhea already won the title, I'm calling it now. Liv Morgan wins the Women's Royal Rumble. And Becky comes back, and we get a triple threat match with that. But before we even talk about that shit, what's your take on Tiffany finally? And 100%, the women have successfully cashed in and became champion. She continued that, and everyone thought that she was going to be the first to fail.
Shut up!
No. I don't believe that. But I knew we all wanted her to win. But first, give me your take on Tiffany winning. When do you see the rematch with Nia? And does she fight Charlotte at WrestleMania?
So for Tiffany winning, I'm very happy. I've been wanting her to cash in for a while. Finally did it, and even better, she was successful in her cash in. You know, I didn't want the build up to happen and keep happening for her to fail, or someone screws her over and then she ends up losing. But the fact that they allowed her to go through with it, and it finally worked out for her, and she got the pop that she deserved. It was all worth it, and it was very good. As far as a rematch with Nia, I'm hoping it's never, because I don't want to see it. But I know at some point maybe we'll get it. I don't know if at the Rumble, at the next Saturday night's main event that's coming up. I don't know. But as far as WrestleMania goes, yeah, I do see a potential Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton go on. But I think this is the perfect chance for Tiffany to go over and solidify herself as one of the best, to beat one of the best in Charlotte Flair. So, real happy for her. You know, she finally did it. And first of all, I also want to give my flowers to Nia Jax as well. You know, a lot of people don't care for her as a character, as a wrestler, or anything. She hurts too many people in the ring, whatnot, whatever. She did well as champion, and I'm going to give her flowers for this one because she had a great reign with it. She's entertaining. She's been having a great run since she got hired back to WWE. So I wanted to shout that out as well. But I'm happy for Tiffany Stratton. She deserved it. And I'm just excited to see where this reign goes. And if she does face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
What you got, James?
Want to congrats Tiffany for cashing in. To be honest with you, I thought I was waiting for like the Royal Rumble for her to cash in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the big arena, get a bigger pop. But she had a massive pop when she finally cashed in, which I congrats to her, and let's see how she goes. And oh yeah, I kind of do want her to against Charlotte Flair be a good dream match. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, but let's just see how this goes. I wish her a great reign as a women's champion. I'm happy for her. It's finally Tiffy time.
Yep, because it's 8 o'clock in Tiffy Standard Time. That's what I'm going to be saying a lot now. Yeah, but on another note, like I mentioned, with Rhea winning the title back, I don't think this storyline with Liv is far from over, especially now that Dom's trying to get back with Rhea. You know, they're going to throw some mess with that. That's going to kind of plant the seed of the Judgment Day breaking up. But do you see either Rhea and Liv one last time, one-on-one, maybe like at WrestleMania, or do you see a triple threat involving a returning Becky Lynch? Because she's got some issues with both women as well.
Oh my god.
No,
Yeah.
dude. If I have to see Rhea and Liv again, I'm gonna lose my mind. Just let it end. Just let that be the end of this Rhea and Liv feud for last Monday. Please let it be the end.
Give me another Rhea Becky match. Even though Becky was sicker than a dog at WrestleMania, I thought that was a banger match. Give me another Becky Rhea match. I'm done with this whole Rhea Liv thing. It's getting really tiresome. And I was getting scared because this whole rivalry, I thought, way it's been going, I thought it was killing Rhea, charisma and all that stuff. Then it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm getting sick and tired of this. Now I kind of want someone else to be champion, not Rhea. It was getting to the point I was like, I really don't want Rhea champion now. I want someone else now.
Yeah.
Well,
give me a Rhea Becky match. I'll be fine with that.
I know. I want to give a quick shout out real quick. I know we haven't really been talking real nice about her lately because she was one of the worst on the mic and one of the worst in the ring, but we liked her in another sport. Big congratulations to Ronda Rousey on a new baby girl.
Congrats.
Nice.
Now she's a mother of 2 daughters now. So congrats to Ronda Rousey. But yeah, I see a triple threat coming. Like I just see it. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like it because we're getting another Rhea Liv storyline, but hey, it is what it is. That's what I believe is going to take place.
Oh,
so we're gonna. I'm just throwing this real quick. You have a quick thought on NXT's New Year's Evil that happened the other night. I thought it was a great show. We got 2 new champions. Now we're in a new era. Plus, The Rock ending it, showing up on NXT was absolute fire. Julia won the women's title from Roxanne. A lot of people think Roxanne might get called up. But Obafemi won the NXT title from Trick and then Eddie. Some people think Trick might get called up and we might get a Oba Eddie feud going into Vengeance Day. What else happened? Oh, Lexis King won the Heritage Cup from Charlie Dempsey. Fatal Influence that beat Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and what was it? Tatum Baxley? That match.
It was Shotzi, Gigi, and oh motherfucker, who's the other person that's with them?
Was it Tatum Paxley?
I think it might be. Yeah,
they
it
won.
is. It is.
I didn't pay attention to that match. I thought Fatal Influence won, and then
well, they did.
And Stephanie Vakir won that Fatal 4-way. She earned herself a Women's North American Championship match. She beat Cora Jade, Lola Vice, and Kalani Jordan. So I thought it was a good show. You got anything you want to add on New Year's Evil?
I didn't watch it yet. But
my bad if I spoiled it.
Well, no, I know who won. I mean, I kept up with it during our show on Tuesday, but the right people won. Julia finally won. I think she should have won on the CW debut against Roxanne. And Obafemi is a fucking star, and I think he should have been NXT champion a lot sooner.
I love that walk.
But I mean, they gave it to him at the right time, and I think he's going to carry it for quite some time. And for me, I think Obafemi should have a reign kind of like Asuka did. Even though Obafemi has lost in NXT, I don't think he should drop the NXT title to a pinfall. I think he should get called up to the main roster sometime this year and just drop the title. Just give it up, because he doesn't need to lose by a pinfall to drop the title, because that just makes him look bad going to the main roster. But I mean, Asuka didn't have the best time on the main roster when she left NXT. So I mean, I think Oba Femi is going to get treated a hell of a lot better on the main roster.
I hope he lasts 6 months, at least 6 months with it. But
Yeah.
James, what you got on NXT?
I saw some clips here and there, but I'm glad Oba Femi won. To me, when he first debuted, I was like, that's a fucking star. That's a monster. And I'm glad Vince McMahon ain't running the fucking company, because he would have ruined them. But Julia, I thought she will win it at the CW debut. I thought she was going to win that. But I'm glad they dropped gave her the belt. That means Roxanne's probably called up. If Trick Williams dropped the belt, do you think he's getting called up?
Who?
I should.
Trick Williams.
Oh, yeah. I think Trick enters the Royal Rumble. I had this vision in my head that Carmelo's going to have some, he might eliminate 3 guys in a row. He might be in the ring all by himself at one point. Then Trick comes out and they have that moment Trick and Melo are back in the ring together. And Melo's going to want to be like, oh, what's up? Welcome back. And Trick's going to be like, fuck you. Bitch slap him and maybe even eliminate him.
Yeah.
But the right people won the titles.
Yeah.
So if you're going to Royal Rumble in Indianapolis, get ready to sing Joe Henry's song and get ready to holler whoop that Trick. Because I think he appears in the Rumble as well. Well, let's talk and give us what we want at Stand and Deliver. I want a Julia Stephanie Vaquer match for the women's title.
That'd be nice.
Because, I mean, Vaquer challenging for the women's North American title is cool, but I don't think she wins it whenever she fights Tatum Paxley. I don't think she wins it. I think she needs to go after Julia for that title. That'd be a dream match. That's what I want to see. But let's talk about some other shows that happened over the weekend, especially that involves New Japan. So January 4th, we had Wrestle Kingdom 19. I am not running through this whole card because there are some names I will not pronounce, but I will just say a couple matches like Kinosuke Takeshita is now a double champion. He's now the never open weight and still the international champion. He beat Shingo Takagi to win both belts. Tetsuya Naito and Takahashi had a hell of a match. Naito won that. Zack Sabre Jr. and Shota Umino went to war for 43 minutes, and Zack Sabre Jr. retained his IWGP World Heavyweight title that I forgot. He had a match with Ricochet, and they said if he retained, they were going to fight for that title, and that what ended up closing out Wrestle Dynasty, not Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd, which I thought should have closed out, but hey, it is what it is. Now, I only watched 3 matches, those ones I just named. Is there anything from Wrestle Kingdom 19 you want to bring up or talk about before we move on to Wrestle Dynasty?
No, I really didn't watch it because I mean how early in the morning it was. I woke up one time for I think it was Wrestle Kingdom 17. I woke up for that one.
You were sick.
Worst decision I made. I was sick as a dog. I had the flu, and it was the worst decision I ever made to wake up that early. I told myself I was never doing it again, and I stayed true to it because I didn't do it. And I also didn't stay up to watch Dynasty as well. I know we'll get into that in a second, but no. I mean, I kept up with it. You know, when I woke up, I checked the cards, see the results and whatnot. Seemed like a good show. For me, it feels like the Tokyo Dome doesn't feel the same as when Okada was there, Jay White. You know, you had like the big names that are running the show, and really I only mentioned those 2 names because that was the main event of the Wrestle Kingdom I watched, and it seemed so different. It seemed more. I mean, like the crowd was more into it, even though they were. I think it was like a rule or something like that during like COVID, like they couldn't cheer or something like that. It was only clapping they were doing during the show, and
no, that's a ritual thing. That's a ritual thing.
Well, it seemed like they did more for these when of the videos I've seen. And this was straight ass clapping that they were doing for the one I watched. But the videos that I was seeing, they were like getting more excited during the show. And we even had Omega and Ospreay for that one that I watched. and a couple years back, but Kenny Omega coming back was great. The highlights I seen from him and Gabe Kidd was really good. But I mean, as far as Russell's Dynasty goes, I mean, like I said, I know we'll get into that because certain person that we're gonna talk about for that show, I'm fucking dreading that one.
James, you got any take? Did you ever get to check anything out? Wrestle Kingdom?
I just saw highlights from Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega because I'm actually I got a good heart for Kenny Omega because everyone's been shitting on him for years and years and years about. I thought he put out a banger, and is it just me or I just heard booing when Omega was getting? I couldn't tell because I was watching a clip where he was getting ready to do something with Gabe Kidd, and they were booing at him.
Yeah, and then I'll talk about something else that involved the Tokyo Dome when we finish Wrestle Dynasty. What else you had? You said?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Oh no, I cutted you off. I was letting you finish.
Oh yeah. That was the only thing I watched was, like I said, was Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega because I'm starting to like Gabe Kidd. I thought he's a great wrestler, good star. To me that was the only thing I kind of like kept my eye on was Kenny Omega's return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it ended up being one night. Back the last couple of years, it's been 2 nights. Well, night 2 ended up being a major crossover with 5 promotions with New Japan, AEW, CMLL, Ring of Honor, and Stardom. They had a new pay-per-view called Wrestle Dynasty. That was basically the second night of this Wrestle Kingdom weekend. There was actually quite a bit of AEW talent that wrestled on this card. But like we say, Kenny Omega, Gabe Kidd, co-main event, hell of a match. I think that was the night Kenny Omega was bloody. He was a bloody mess because he didn't fight at Wrestle Kingdom. He fought on this night. Zack Sabre Jr. and Ricochet closing out. As much as Ricochet's been a joke in AEW, I will give him his credit. This was probably his best match he did going to AEW was against Zack Sabre Jr. because that was a dream match. So I'm not going to clown him that hard for that fucking awesome match, but everything else he's done with his feud with Swerve going on right now, or that gauntlet he was in last night, was kind of a travesty for how awesome his night was in Japan. And finally, well, I wouldn't even say finally, Takeshita, still a double champion. He ended up defending both belts against Tomohiro Ishii, beat him. The Young Bucks are tag team champions again. They win the IWGP tag titles, beating United Empire and Los Ingobernables de Japan. They didn't even show up on Dynamite with them. I mean, I know, Dylan, that was your favorite tag team at one point. Do you still, I mean, you don't give a shit for them? Or, I mean, how do you feel about the Young Bucks right now after they were just Matthew and Nicholas, a bunch of douchebags trying to end Sting's career last year?
Yeah, since the EVP gimmick, it's kind of threw me off. I think since everything it kind of went down with Punk and they like showed the videos and they kind of like I don't know. I feel like AEW kind of changed ever since everything with Punk happened. I kind of feel like for me as a fan watching it, it just kind of went sort of like a downward spiral for me. And as far as the Young Bucks go, do I think they're still a great tag team? Of course I do. But the gimmick wise, the EVP gimmick, I really don't like it. And I kind of wish they would go back to their normal selves, Super Kick Party, wearing the Jordans and all that, dressing goofy and all that. That's kind of that's the Young Bucks I like. And not this corporate bullshit that they're doing right now on AEW, like the suits and looking fancy and all that. No, that's not for me.
James, you want to throw your 2 cents in on the Young Bucks? Were you ever a fan of them, or you never really cared for them?
I was never a fan of them.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
No. I understand. I mean, I was once a fan of them. Like when I discovered them in Ring of Honor, I gave them a chance, and then when they started AEW as the EVPs and everything, at first they were cool to watch, and then it's like after they started that douchebag EVP gimmick, it's like I don't even fucking give a shit for these two anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and let's save the worst for last. Mercedes Moné.
Exactly, no pop.
trash.
That shit gets me every time.
What did I tell you? What was gonna fucking happen? Oh God, really? You know what makes it worse? She's now a triple champion, but that undisputed British women's title, you have 2 belts, so now she's walking around with 4 fucking belts.
Jesus, man.
I think we lost hope after she beat Mira Shikawa. Like, I don't think she's going to be a female Andre the Giant. She's going to have like a 15-year undefeated streak. As long as she's in AEW, she ain't losing a match.
Well, not if you're an independent contractor and book yourself to win. Because everyone has free range in that company. The Young Bucks can book themselves to win every single night if they wanted to. And I feel like that's what Mercedes has freedom to do over there. Tony Khan was the only idiot to give her the amount of money that she wanted. And I believe, I'm pretty sure, threw in any creative control that she wanted to book herself to win whatever she wanted. He was going to throw everything to get her into AEW. And look what it's doing. I mean, it's an absolute joke. And, you know, I can consider myself one of her biggest haters. And I mean, I'm not ashamed to say it. You know, I say it every week. I'm not a fan of Mercedes. I was really not that big of a fan of her when she was Sasha Banks. I mean, she does have her good moments in the ring. You know, I will give her that. You know, she does have her good matches here and there. But that's as far as
What's up, streets?
What's going on, streets? But yeah, that's as far as I'll go with it. You know, she's god awful on the mic, and they keep giving her a microphone, which I'm wondering why they keep giving her one. And they're just letting her have free range in AEW. And it's absolutely pathetic to see. But I didn't watch her match with Shirakawa. I really don't plan on watching it. And I'm just hoping someone can come into AEW and just end this terror that we're dealing with.
She came out dressed like Sailor Moon again.
Of course she did.
James, what's your take with Mercedes or Sasha, whatever you want to call her?
Can I do a little rant? About this?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
I was a fan of her as Sasha Banks at WWE. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, she sounded fake," and all. I always thought, no, she's legit. Boy, all I gotta say, she exposed herself ever since she went to AEW. How fake she is, how obnoxious she is, how cringy she is, and I kind of backpedal myself there. See, and you brought up creative control. See, that's the problem with that company.
Yeah.
He's like handing out creative control like is like fucking candy. And that's my problem with like the contracts these days. Here, we'll get you this amount of dollars, then plus we'll give you creative control. Sometimes it's good for some wrestlers to have creative control because they got brilliant minds and all that stuff. Not like her, because it will go through her head and all that. Even though what pissed me off, I think she killed Camille's career.
Yeah, she did.
Sorry, all you fucking Mercedes Moné fans.
I don't think she really has any that I can recall.
No.
Look, I was in the same boat as him. Like, I fucking loved her in WWE. She was my favorite 4 horsewoman for a time. When she went to blue hair, I think I fucking wanted to drop on one knee in front of my TV screen when she changed her hair to blue. But she's had some great moments. I give her that. Like that WrestleMania main event match with Bianca will forever live rent free in my head. That match with them too. But it's like kind of like shit with the Hurt. Like they're trying to use that same gimmick but a different name. Like you can't call yourself the boss in AEW, so we're gonna call you the CEO. Kind of like Hurt. You can't say the Hurt Business, so you're the Hurt Syndicate. You can't call yourself Edge, but you can call yourself fucking Cope. Like,
sweet Jesus Christ.
Which I will. Good thing that, like I said, February 15th. I know a lot of people are gonna. The big diehards are gonna pull double duty. They're gonna get up at 5 a.m. to watch AEW Grand Slam in Australia, and then later that night they're gonna watch NXT Vengeance Day. I'm just gonna watch Vengeance Day. I had to get up at 5 a.m. last year for Elimination Chamber, and let me tell you how fucking exhausted I was. Like I took like a 6-hour nap and the show ended at 8:30 in the morning for us Central Time.
Mhm.
3-hour show. Like, I had a massive migraine. I drank a lot of caffeine that still couldn't wake my ass up. God forbid I could get up, and that's why I can't get up at 6 a.m. to watch soccer games anymore. If they don't start after 9 a.m., I'm not getting up for it.
See, yeah, I used to do that too. I used to, like, when I first got into it, if there was a team I liked and they played at the time, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get up. I can't do that no more, man. Like, I've tried setting alarms before. I just snooze them because I know I'm not getting up. But as far as the Elimination Chamber in Australia, I was in Biloxi. I was going to a concert that day, so I woke up early. Little did I know that's the same day I caught COVID, and I was experiencing the symptoms throughout the entire morning, and I thought it was just a vent from the hotel that kept hitting me in the face. No, I had COVID, and I learned that right when I got home from Biloxi. But yeah, man, I can't wake up early for stuff like that no more. Even if I wanted to, I would not wake up that early for an AEW pay-per-view. I have not given AEW my money in so long. I used to watch it on Crack Streams, God rest its soul, that it's not on there no more. And I'm still pissed that Crack Streams is gone, but I'm still finding my way to watch things. I see different sites out there, but Crack Streams was the GOAT, and it sucks.
Well, don't worry.
But yeah, I haven't given AEW my money in such a long time, and I honest to God don't plan on giving my money anytime soon.
Well, we got 10 more days to give our money up to TikTok unless it gets banned in the US, unless he sells it, which I doubt.
Oh, that shit can go for all I care. I don't care.
We'll just lose. We're going to probably lose followers on TikTok unless we say, hey, come follow us on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and audio platforms where you can find us there. If we got to get on Twitch, we'll get back on Twitch.
Yeah, but I don't really get on TikTok much. I used to go heavy with posting stuff from our profile in there, but I have not done it in so long. And honest to God, I really don't. Even when I was posting stuff, I wasn't generating that on here. So
yeah,
that was off.
I mean, I want to try and get, even though it's terrible, I'm trying to get back into watching it every week. Like, I actually watched it last night because there was nothing else going on. So I did watch it. I probably intend on watching it next week. I don't think I'm going to watch. I'm not watching Collision this week because of the NFL playoffs, but it's going to take a lot for me to watch Collision unless something big happens. But like, I know they're coming to Houston for Collision on February 9th, but I ain't going to that shit. If I go to another AEW show, I'm probably going to go to All In Dallas because I found some seats behind hot. Like, you know how they set shit up in ballparks. They're going to put the ring at second base. They're going to set the stage out somewhere out, probably left field or center field. I found some seats behind home plate for like $90. That's how bad they are and how low ticket price. That'd have been fucking Royal Rumble behind home plate. I'd have probably paid almost $1,000. But the fact is, it's an AEW show behind home plate for under. Well, after taxes, it might be like 110, 120. I'll pay that shit. Go watch.
You're paying more in fees than you're going to be the actual damn ticket.
Go watch your boy Big Boom AJ wrestle somebody. Double chunk chocolate cookie. See, I said it right.
Well, look at you. You actually did your homework this time.
Look, I saw what a chicken bake is over there. If I ever go to a Costco in Houston, I might actually get one.
Looks pretty good.
When we go to our fucking Dynamo Sounders fucking bay, we might actually go to Costco instead of fucking Jollibees.
Well, I'm not going all the way to Texas to eat lunch at a Costco. I'm sorry.
I figured Big Boom AJ inspired you to go to Costco.
Well, I don't have a Costco membership, so unless you find a way of getting one, then I ain't going.
I'll walk in there. I mean, I'll just say, hey, I don't, but these guys love Big Boom AJ and
like they fucking care.
Well, if they don't,
Suck my fucking dick!
that's what Jordan would probably say.
Probably so.
Like, I don't even fucking remember. Like, what's that? The Ritter, the one you fucking love so much.
The Rizzler.
It's the Rizzler. Get it right, man. You did so well up until now.
That's the one you said that was 8. Well, how old is Big Justice?
I have no idea. I think it was just his birthday or something. I saw on Instagram it was his birthday or something like that a few days ago. But the Rizzler's like 8 years old, I think.
Yeah, you had me mixed up when you said no, Rizzler's the one that's not their son.
Yeah, the Rizzler's like the little short, chubby one.
Yeah,
Likes to rub his chin all the time.
I love the Rizzler.
the one that fucking does a dance. But I'm thinking of the son, the older one, Big Justice. I think he got to be like a teenager or something.
I mean, I don't know.
I said, "There's no
I have
way
no
he's fucking 8 years old, being that tall. Better be a basketball player. You freaking 5 foot and 8 years old. He's got to be almost as tall as me." Well, let's go to one of our newest cool segment that's never gonna die. It's time for another edition that sounds like bullshit to me.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
All right, Dylan. Now, James, how this works is I created this segment. If there was something, it could be more than one thing. If there was something you saw within the last week, whether if it was Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, or something on the internet, something on Twitter, and it sounded like bullshit to you.
Okay.
Dylan, I'll let you go first. You said you had one that I was ready for.
Yeah, it's the internet. I mean, the internet always never ceases to amaze me every single week when I get on, and it just so happened to be when the numbers came out from the Raw on Netflix.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And there's nothing different that an AEW fan can do on social media than after seeing numbers from a WWE show, and especially at first when it looks bad, and all of a sudden AEW fans are blowing a load all over the internet saying, oh, they only drew like 600K. But that was the first initial numbers, and then it jumps all the way up to 4.9. Now they can't backtrack and say, oh, well, I was wrong. Because if an AEW fan speaks, they're never wrong. And that's something I've learned, because they have their own little cult that goes around the internet and thinking they're always right and criticizing WWE and saying, oh, if this ever happened to AEW, they would be laughing. But if it happens in WWE, then it's good. I just wish that every AEW fan would fall off the face of the earth and just leave, because
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly, because that's what I just can't stand to get on the internet no more. It's so annoying to get on Twitter, and I see that every week. There's certain pages that I don't know why I haven't blocked them or muted them yet on Twitter, and that's the first thing I see every time there's a Raw on, a SmackDown, NXT, a PLE, or like a TV special, whatever. They're always the first person that I see, and it's so fucking annoying to see it.
Well,
That's why I wish they would just fucking go away. But that's my one for this week, is the internet and the AEW fans, how annoying they are, and I wish they would all go away.
Well, they can't even sell out arenas. I mean, look at Grand Slam. They had to get out of a soccer stadium or cricket stadium in Australia to move to a smaller arena, and I'm kind of wondering how they're even going to fill out All in Dallas, when for fucking Wrestle Dynasty, you couldn't even fill up 40, 50,000. You had 16,000 in a dome stadium.
Just think, whenever Penta debuts next week on Raw, he's going to be flabbergasted seeing the other side of the arena full, because they never got that in AEW. You have to tarp it off every single week. So he's going to be amazed seeing the amount of people he's going to see next week on that side of the arena.
And then people are going to want to criticize, like, oh, he's not the same. Like, they might shit talk like how he may not be as luchador as he was in AEW. Like, oh, he ain't doing the shit that he did in Mexico or New Japan or whatnot.
Who gives a fuck?
Really? And then when they really going to cry when them numbers get up with Penta's debut, and Triple H and Nick Khan are going to look at those AEW fans.
I'm so sorry, bitch.
So, James, what about you? Was there something you saw that sounded like bullshit to you? I mean, Dylan probably had another one, but
I got nothing now, because I know you got something, and if it's about who we're still yet to talk about, then I'll give my take then.
Okay, James.
Okay. I got one. I just now realized it, but it's been a while. But this guy named Wrestling Taku is saying that the NXT women's roster is overrated.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Then the same guy from him that got called fat by JD from NY and then became an victim card, then all of a sudden makes another video of him eating a chicken Big Mac.
What is this guy's name again?
The Wrestling Otaku.
Wrestling Otaku.
Wow.
Wrestling Otaku when he walks into McDonald's to get that chicken mac.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, since we didn't put the elephant out in the room, I got two now, but I'm going to start with my original one. I think I don't know what's going to draw more heat, but with the two I got. So here's my first. The Royal Rumble going to Saudi Arabia next year.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like, I get it. It's money, but
Who gives a fuck?
I don't fuck Saudi Arabia. I said been saying that since they had this fucking partnership. I'm waiting for it to end in 2028, but people think they're going to renew and then they're going to keep going and they're not going to stop until WrestleMania comes to Saudi Arabia. I saw
blood money.
I saw a hilarious meme. Remember that Power Rangers episode? I think it was like Super Dino Charge where they had like all the old school Rangers come back for one day in their suits, like David Frank coming back as the Green Ranger with short hair. Yep. And they had them all standing in that canyon and all like 50, 60 different Power Rangers in their different suits from different like generations. They said that's the women's Royal Rumble match.
Oh my God.
Damn.
30 women in leotards covering their skin. Like, I mean, I get women have no rights in Saudi, but still, that's still bullshit on their behalf. And people are like, well, why don't we get an Evolution back? I hate to bust your bubbles too. There will never be another all women's pay-per-view ever again. They only did that for one night because that year they couldn't go to Saudi and they wanted to do something for the women. So they will probably they will never ever have another all women's pay-per-view. And I hate to be a dick about it, but you know, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason why they made that pay-per-view.
Yep. I thought it was successful, but it was just a one-off. It was one. They should have had Becky and Charlotte main event, not fucking Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. That was their first fuck up there.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that goddamn match.
Ronda like squashed Nikki Bella.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So I think y'all said what y'all had to say. Huh? Did you even say anything about the Rumble going or? Now it's in Riyadh. Where they're going to go to a state? I thought they were going to Jeddah in the Superdome. I was wrong. They're going to Riyadh. So
Yeah,
does that mean they're not going to have Crown Jewel this November, or unless they go to Jeddah? Because they always did Crown Jewel in Riyadh. I doubt they're going to let Riyadh have two fucking pay-per-views. But then again, I would not be fucking surprised.
I know. Yeah, I don't like it at all. You know, the moment the announcement came, the rumors before the announcement, I didn't like it. Women get to compete, but it's so limited over there, you know, and I know that so many people are going to drop out from this show. Some people can't go because of religious beliefs, certain tattoos on their body. People can't go.
Punk can't go.
I mean, it's not going to be good. So I think they're doing something bad by doing this, but I mean, if the money's rolling in, they ain't going to stop.
I got a feeling. What if they don't have a women's Rumble match that year? What if they just go to 1 minute? Oh, that's going to piss all the women off.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because they're not. You can't. They're going to have a 20-woman Rumble. I mean, you'd be lucky if you can get 30, but unless they pay them a shitload of money to come, even though they got to fully cover themselves. But all right, well, I might as well just go ahead and let it out. Some people will have their ifs, ands, or buts about it, but let's talk about something that happened on Raw. We knew was coming. The minute Hulk Hogan came out with fucking even Jimmy Hart couldn't fucking save him.
That's how it sounded.
It did.
Like he got the same level. I don't know. You think his boos were the same as the New Day or louder?
I think it was louder.
It was louder, a lot louder.
Like if you had to put the top 3 boos in the last year, you'd have Hogan number 1, the New Day number 2, and Dominic number 3.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Solo, if you had top 5, you had to put Solo 4. Who would be
Mhm.
who would be 5? Like, who's another wrestler people hate so much? That could be 5.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
No.
But yeah, but they sent him out to promote his new beer, Real American Beer.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
Oh my god.
And I thought what was funny, he went on Logan Paul's podcast, and Logan Paul brought up about booing him out of the arena because of the racist comments he made years ago. And then he wanted to bring up that, oh, people can forgive Chris Benoit for what he did, but they can't. I don't think no one ever forgave Chris Benoit. I know Dylan sure didn't.
WWE erased Chris Benoit.
Yeah, they erased him. They're not erasing you because you didn't murder anybody. You did something bad, but you didn't do nothing that's going to get you erased. You just did something that's going to get you a lot of shit talk, a lot of booze. And if he would have not been the face like he was, he'd have been erased.
Mm-hmm.
But I get, let me say this out loud. I get where Hogan's coming from in a situation like this. But there was a difference. I'm going to use me as an example. There was a difference between me and him. What I said, I just said it in a text message. What he said on fucking live radio for the whole world to hear. And it was broadcasted on streaming, like that you could have watched it on YouTube or something. He said it loud and clear on YouTube for people to see.
Mm-hmm.
That is why they were booing his ass and all that. Now, if it had happened in a text or something, and no one would have heard about it or didn't get on the internet, then they probably still would have got his cheers or whatnot. And I don't remember when it happened. I don't think it was that long ago. What was it, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago? He said that on the radio about Brooke being in a relationship with a black man, and he said what he said about it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. It was maybe like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I thought it happened during COVID, but I think it was before COVID. It might have been 2019, because when he came out for 35, they cheered his ass. Like, he never said nothing racist. I think it had to have been after WrestleMania 35.
Yeah.
Because once he popped up again a couple other times on TV, they booed his fucking ass there. Or if they showed him in a clip, they booed his ass. But it was funny because it's like WWE had the nerve to fucking put him on TV like they knew they were going to boo his ass, especially in the West Coast. And then they want to try and make it up like, oh, we're going to post a clip on Instagram with him and Rey Mysterio trying out his new beer. And everybody felt bad for Rey. Like, he got shoved into this when he probably didn't want to do it. And they want to try and give a reason that people are booing him. Now they want to put Hogan in a storyline where he's a heel again. And they're like, what the fuck you gonna do to make Hogan a heel? Someone said, have Hogan align with Kofi and Xavier. That'll fucking stab him in the heart. And I'm like, oh my, that's a genius idea, but they would not abide by that. Kofi and Xavier probably don't want to work with Hogan. Someone said, put him in the Judgment Day. He's too big to be with them clowns. With the Judgment Day, no, I don't know. Like, give me your take on this Hogan shit.
So I respect Hogan as a wrestler, as a competitor, what he's done for the business, of course. But that's where it ends for me. Whenever they brought him out, and for one, we said from day one on the show we were never going to talk politics, any political views, anything like that. We were never going to bring that up.
Oh, they tried to. They said that too.
But that's something that I'm not doing. It's just I'm making an example out of it. Whenever they brought him out and they were booing him like crazy, they were saying, "Oh, it's because they brought him out in California, and Hulk Hogan's known to be a big Trump supporter, and they're in California, a heavy Democrat state, who obviously carried Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and all the Democrats that ran. But that's not the case at all. Because if they're going to boo anyone who endorsed Trump, then they would have booed the Undertaker out of the building as well.
See?
Because the
Yeah.
Undertaker was also
they try-
a big Trump supporter as well. It's nothing to do with politics. It's the fact that he's a racist human being and that he's a horrible person in general. And even going on Logan Paul's show talking about bringing up Chris Benoit, how they forgave him. No, they did not. There's nobody that forgave him for what he did. They're going to respect what he did for the business, what he did in the ring, but that's where they're going to drop it at right there, because they're not going to bring in personal stuff because of what he did to himself and his family. And for Hulk Hogan, he's a racist. He is known to be a racist, and they're still bringing him on TV, trying to get people to cheer for him because of what he did in the business. And that's where they're not going to do it, because of what he did. So yeah, you can blame the political views. You can say, oh, he's a Trump supporter and they're in California. That's a Democrat state, but that's not it at all, because they would have did the same to the Undertaker, and they didn't. So it has nothing to do with political views. I wish people would get off that train right there saying it's the politics. It's because he's a Republican, he's a supporter of Donald Trump, stuff like that, because that's not it whatsoever. So it's the brain dead people on the internet that are constantly saying that. And the thing is, it's been picked up by CNN, it's been picked up by TMZ, People Magazine. Every big news outlet is picking up the story of Hulk Hogan getting booed out of the arena, and that's the only comments that you see is because of the political views. And I think that's bullshit, because that's not. Because Triple H and his family are all Trump supporters. They all took pictures with Donald Trump. Like I said, the Undertaker is a big Trump supporter. He has been known to be a Trump supporter, and obviously it's Hulk Hogan. But it's not the political views at all, because they would have booed Triple H out of the building. They would have booed the Undertaker out, and they didn't do it to Hogan.
They'd have booed Cody Rhodes. They'd have booed Roman Reigns. They'd have booed Randy Orton. They'd have booed Shawn Michaels. I don't know.
It has nothing to do with political views when it comes to this.
Exactly.
It's because he's a trash human being. That's why.
Mm-hmm. All right, James, what's your take on Hogan and Jimmy Hart couldn't save him?
I'm going to say this. Politics is such a toxic conversation. It's the same as the toxic IWC on Twitter. I was never a fan of Hogan, so he could go fuck himself. And he could shove those beers up his ass. And sorry, Jimmy Hart. You shouldn't went out. I feel so bad for Jimmy Hart. Such a legend in the business.
At least people like Jimmy Hart, too.
Yeah.
I met Jimmy Hart. He's a good guy.
That's right, Daddy. Just like Dylan said, he's a racist piece of shit. He was like on the Logan Paul podcast trying to bring him Chris Benoit. That's not no. He did worse shit than you did, but you said all the shit that came out of your mouth on live radio. So fuck him. That's why I support Jesse Ventura more than him. And you ever all notice they never mentioned him in Saturday Night Main Event?
Nope.
No.
And when he comes back, they won't do it again either.
That true. But the one I feel bad for is Jimmy Hart. And like Dylan said, this has nothing to do with politics. Because they would have, like he said, they would have booed Taker, Triple H, all the Trump supporters that are in the WWE. So, fuck him and his goddamn beer. I really don't want to talk that leather piece of shit.
The only Trump supporter I know that will always get booed is Logan Paul. But a real American beer, I mean, you think it's going to taste worse than Broken Skull? Which I like. The IPA was not good, I will admit. But the other one, the American Lager, was actually really good. If you ever drink Broken Skull. But real American beer, I mean, I don't it depends where it's made out of. If it's made in California, it's probably going to taste like shit. If I ever come across it, I might try it just to say I try it, and I will probably do a video to let you know if it tastes like shit or not, which I'm going to guarantee it's going to taste like shit, because if it's one of those off-branded type shit, yeah, it's probably going to taste like shit. But His beer sounds like bull. Real American beer. I tell you a real American beer. Bud Light, Coors Light, Budweiser, Miller Light, Michelob Ultra. That's real American beer, brother. But I know I'm missing a few more. But well, that will wrap up tonight's edition of our live stream on the Worldly Podcast. James, thank you again so much for coming on. It was so fun having you. Be sure to check out his show as well, Savage Wrestling Podcast. Let them know where they can find you on social media and your show.
They can find us on Twitter at SW Podcast Media. You can find me as WP Killshot, or you can find Aaron at Aaron Baker 1995. Aaron messaged me before the show. He goes, he wished he was here, but he had to work. So
we could probably make something happen where we can have both of y'all on together. We'll think of something. Now, which one of y'all's coming on with me next month to do that nostalgia on No Way Out?
I know I will.
Okay.
We'll just see Aaron's schedule in here soon. So we'll talk.
That'll be audio, so you don't have to worry about going live. That one will be an audio recording.
Okay, that's fine. We'll talk about it on our show tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. So,
oh, y'all go live in the morning? Wow.
Yeah, I got stuff to do at night.
Okay.
Especially the Ohio State game. Especially the Ohio State games on tomorrow. So,
yeah.
All right, Dylan.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at DylanAbear_. A couple things for the show. On February 24th is the return of World Elite Showdown. Me and Jordan are going to be going on. Time and topic we're talking about is still to be determined, but once we get that situated, we will on social media update everybody. As far as the Game Breaker Sports Podcast, we're live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. This Sunday at 9 a.m. Central, catch me and Marcus for the third round of the FA Cup with Arsenal and Manchester United, taking place at Emirates Stadium. So looking forward to collabing with Marcus on a watch along for a really good game coming up. If it was in the morning, we could have did Madrid and Barcelona. We're big rivals on that one as well. But that's, I believe, during the NFL playoffs, and I'm not going to miss that. So catch that as well, 9 a.m. on Sunday. So a lot of stuff coming for our show, Game Breakers, and all that. So looking forward to all of it.
Absolutely. I'm on Twitter at MarcusLee337. Podcast is on Twitter at World Elite Pod. What's going on? Sports for You Wrestling Podcast. What's up? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at least for the next 10 days. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, on all audio platforms, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Pod. You know where to find us. But thank y'all again for tuning in. Y'all stay warm out there. I think we're going to have another freaking freeze next week. I know this weekend's supposed to be colder. Run your water if you got to. Stay warm. Bundle up. Get cozy. Check out some of our previous shows in the past, anytime on demand, or y'all, and enjoy the NFL playoffs, the college football playoffs. Enjoy it all, man. And enjoy 2025. I know it's been a crazy start all around the country or all around the world, but I feel like it's going to get better. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you again, James, for coming on, and we'll see y'all next week.
Running again, crushing my brain with the candlelight. Losing my breath, losing myself, dreams are out of sight.